Welcome back to the path to Buddhist wisdom. Today, we begin a journey into the heart of one of the most magnetic and maddening forces in the zodiac, Scorpio men. Why do they drive women crazy? Why do they pull you in so deeply, only to leave you questioning everything you thought you knew? If you've ever loved or been loved by a Scorpio man, you already know. Their power is undeniable. Their presence is unforgettable. And their love? It is a force that can change your life or consume it. In this series, we will explore 19 reasons why Scorpio men drive women to the edge of obsession, passion, and sometimes despair. But be warned, this is not a path for the faint of heart. To truly understand a Scorpio man is to confront both light and shadow, pleasure and pain. Are you ready? Let us begin. Reason number 1. Their intense, magnetic gaze. The first weapon in a Scorpio man's arsenal is his gaze. It is not just that he looks at you, it is how he looks through you. His eyes seem to pierce every mask, every defense, every carefully crafted facade. When a Scorpio man sets his eyes on you, it feels as though time slows. The world fades. You are no longer simply seen, you are exposed. For many women, this experience is intoxicating. In a single glance, a Scorpio man can make you feel desired, known, and utterly vulnerable. But it is also maddening. His gaze holds a promise of passion, of danger, of mysteries yet to be revealed. And once you have felt it, you will crave it. You will find yourself seeking that gaze, needing it, unable to forget it. And Scorpio men know this. They wield their gaze with precision, with power. They understand its effect, and they use it to draw you deeper, to make you long for the connection they may or may not choose to give. This is the first reason why Scorpio men drive women crazy. With a single look, they awaken desires and insecurities you may never have known you carried. And once that door is opened, it can never truly be closed. Closing part 1 tease. But the gaze is only the beginning. In part 2, we will explore 2 more reasons why Scorpio men hold such a devastating grip on the hearts of women. Their emotional mystery and the raw sexual energy they carry without even trying. I'll see you in part 2. This is the path to Buddhist wisdom. Your journey continues. Welcome back to the path to Buddhist wisdom and to part 2 of our series, 19 reasons why Scorpio men drive women crazy. In our last episode, we explored the power of the Scorpio man's gaze, the magnetic, penetrating force that can make you feel exposed and desired in a single moment. But the gaze is only the doorway. Once you step through, you enter a world of emotional intensity and raw energy that few can resist or survive unscathed. Today, we explore 2 more reasons why Scorpio men captivate and confound the hearts of women. Reason number 2, the way they remain emotionally mysterious. Perhaps the most maddening thing about loving a Scorpio man is this. No matter how close you think you are, you will never fully know him. He will share parts of himself, yes. He may open up in moments of deep connection. You may hear stories, witness vulnerabilities, experience tenderness that makes you feel chosen, special. But beneath it all, there will always be a core of mystery he will never surrender. And this is not because he does not love you. It is because mystery is part of his nature. It is how he protects himself. It is how he maintains power and allure. For many women, this emotional mystery is intoxicating. The unknown keeps them engaged, curious, always seeking the next layer. But it is also exhausting. You may find yourself questioning, does he really trust me? Why won't he tell me more? What is he hiding? And Scorpio men know this. They understand that emotional mystery is a form of control, a way to keep you invested, to keep you craving more. They give just enough to keep you hopeful, just enough to deepen your emotional investment, but never so much that you feel you fully possess them. And in this space of not quite knowing, many women lose themselves. They become consumed by the need to break through the walls, to earn what cannot be given. This is why Scorpio men drive women crazy. The closer you get, the more you realize how much remains beyond your reach, and the more you long to reach it. Reason number 3, their natural sexual energy. Even when he says nothing, even when he barely touches you, the Scorpio man radiates sexual energy in a way that is almost supernatural. It is not about appearance, though many Scorpio men are physically attractive. It is about presence, vibe, a silent, magnetic pull that draws you in before you even understand why. This energy is not forced. It is not a performance. It is the natural byproduct of a man who lives deeply connected to his desires and unapologetic about them. Women sense this instinctively. In a room full of men, their eyes drift to the Scorpio. They feel the pull. They may not understand it, but they feel it. And once engaged, this energy becomes addictive. Scorpio men approach intimacy with the same intensity they bring to all aspects of life. They do not hook up casually, not in their hearts. Even a fleeting encounter is charged with meaning, with depth, with the possibility of transformation. For women, this can be thrilling and terrifying, to be desired so completely, to be seen as more than a body, but as an object of almost spiritual longing. But this is also where the danger lies. The sexual bond with a Scorpio man often transcends the physical. It creates emotional entanglements that are difficult to break. Women find themselves thinking about him long after the encounter, comparing others to him, wondering if they will ever feel that level of intensity again. And Scorpio men, they understand this dynamic. They may not exploit it consciously, but they are well aware of the mark they leave. This is why Scorpio men drive women crazy. Their natural sexual energy awakens desires and dependencies that few can match or replace. Closing part 2Ts. An emotionally mysterious heart. A natural sexual presence that leaves you craving more. But these are only the beginning. In part 3, we will explore 2 more reasons why Scorpio men hold such a devastating grip on the hearts of women. Their uncanny ability to read you like a book, and the intoxicating mix of dominance and vulnerability they bring to every connection. I'll see you in part 3. This is the path to Buddhist wisdom. Your journey continues. Welcome back to the path to Buddhist wisdom and to part 3 of our series, 19 reasons why Scorpio men drive women crazy. So far, we've explored the piercing gaze of the Scorpio man, his emotional mystery, and the raw sexual energy that seems to radiate from his very being. But these are only the surface of the deeper game Scorpio men play, often without even trying. They are masters of perception, and their emotional depth is matched only by their complex dance of power and vulnerability. Today, we will explore 2 more reasons why women find themselves ensnared, willingly or not, in the Scorpio man's orbit. Reason number 4, they can read you like a book. One of the most unnerving and irresistible qualities of a Scorpio man is this. He sees through you. Not just your words, not just your actions. He reads the subtle shifts in your energy, the tone behind your voice, the flicker of hesitation in your eyes. You cannot lie to him, not convincingly. You cannot pretend to be someone you are not for long. For many women, this ability is both terrifying and exhilarating. On one hand, to be seen so deeply is intoxicating. In a world where so many connections feel shallow or performative, the Scorpio man offers something rare, a gaze that penetrates to your core, a presence that demands authenticity. But on the other hand, this depth of perception can feel invasive. You may find yourself exposed in ways you did not choose. Vulnerabilities you thought well hidden will be laid bare. And Scorpio men use this ability with precision, not always with conscious manipulation, but always with instinctive understanding. They know when you are holding back. They sense when your words are masking truth. They feel when your heart is torn, even if your smile says otherwise. This creates a dynamic where many women feel powerless. They want to impress the Scorpio man, but know that pretense is futile. They want to protect their hearts, but feel seen in ways that make such protection impossible. And this is why Scorpio men drive women crazy. Their insight strips away the illusions we so carefully build, leaving us raw, exposed, and achingly alive. Reason number 5, the mix of dominance and vulnerability. Perhaps the most maddening and most addictive trait of a Scorpio man is his paradoxical blend of strength and softness. At times, he is pure dominance, in control of himself, of the situation, of the emotional tone of the room. His presence commands attention. His will is unshakable. In these moments, he exudes masculine power in its rawest form, and women find themselves drawn to it, helplessly. But then, when least expected, a different side emerges. A flash of vulnerability, a moment of unguarded emotion, a glance that reveals wounds not yet healed, a confession that hints at the depth of feeling beneath the surface. And it is this contrast that drives women wild. because it awakens the twin instincts of desire and protection, the longing to surrender to his strength, and the equally strong desire to comfort and heal the man beneath the armor. Few can resist this dynamic. It creates an emotional high that is as addictive as any drug. But it is also a game with no clear rules. Just as you lean into his vulnerability, he may retreat into dominance once more. Just as you steel yourself against his power, he may disarm you with unexpected softness. And through it all, he remains in control of the dance, knowing exactly when to reveal, when to conceal, when to push, and when to pull. This is why Scorpio men drive women crazy. They keep you off balance, caught between surrender and defense, longing for more, yet never quite sure where you stand. Closing part, 3 T's. A man who sees through every mask. A dance of dominance and vulnerability that leaves you breathless. But the Scorpio man's grip goes deeper still. In part 4, we will explore 2 more reasons why their love feels like an emotional roller coaster. The depth to which they love, and the fierce loyalty they demand in return. I'll see you in part 4. This is the path to Buddhist wisdom. Your journey continues. Welcome back to the path to Buddhist wisdom and to part 4 of our series, 19 Reasons Why Scorpio Men Drive Women Crazy. By now, you have glimpsed the magnetic power of the Scorpio man, his piercing gaze, his emotional mystery, his raw sexual energy, and the complex dance of dominance and vulnerability that keeps women entranced. But beneath this dance lies something deeper still, the way a Scorpio man loves. For when he chooses to give his heart, he does so with an intensity few can match, and even fewer can withstand. Today, we explore 2 more reasons why Scorpio men hold such a devastating grip on the hearts of women. Reason number 6, they love deeply and completely. When a Scorpio man falls in love, he does not do so casually. There is no halfway in his heart. No, let's see where this goes. No tentative testing of the waters. If he loves you, truly loves you, he dives in completely. Mind, body, soul. You will feel this in every word he speaks, in every glance he gives, in every touch that lingers just a moment too long. For many women, this depth of love is both exhilarating and terrifying. To be loved so fully is a rare gift. It makes you feel seen, chosen, elevated. It awakens parts of you that have lain dormant, desires, dreams, vulnerabilities. But it also creates a weight few are prepared to carry. Because when a Scorpio man loves, he loves with expectation. He expects loyalty. He expects depth in return. He expects that you will meet him in the place where few dare to go, the place where true intimacy lives. And if you cannot, if you falter, if you withdraw, if you betray, the fall will be swift and brutal. Many women are drawn to the Scorpio man's love because it makes them feel alive. But just as many find themselves overwhelmed, unable to sustain the intensity, unable to match the depth. And this is why Scorpio men drive women crazy. Their love is a fire that warms, but can also consume. Reason number 7, they are fiercely loyal to those they love. Closely tied to the depth of their love is the ferocity of their loyalty. If a Scorpio man chooses you, truly chooses you, his loyalty will be unshakable. He will stand by you through storms. He will defend you against all comers. He will protect you with a ferocity that borders on primal. And this loyalty is not performative. It is not for show. It is rooted in a deep emotional code, a sense of honor that Scorpio men take very seriously. For many women, this loyalty is profoundly attractive. In a world of fleeting connections and shallow promises, to have a partner who is truly all in is a rare and precious thing. But this loyalty also carries its own weight. Because Scorpio men expect the same in return, and they do not tolerate betrayal lightly. If you violate their trust, even once, the consequences will be swift and severe. The love that once enveloped you will vanish. The warmth will turn to ice. And the man who once stood so fiercely by your side will become a stranger, or worse. Many women find themselves caught in this dynamic, drawn to the security of Scorpio loyalty, but afraid of the high standards it demands. And this is why Scorpio men drive women crazy. Their loyalty is both a gift and a test, one that few can navigate without losing themselves along the way. Closing part 4 T's. A love that burns with unmatched depth. A loyalty that demands your all. But these are only the beginning. In part 5, we will explore 2 more reasons why Scorpio men leave such a lasting mark on the hearts of women: the emotional roller coaster they create, and their relentless search for a soulmate. I'll see you in part 5. This is the path to Buddhist wisdom. Your journey continues. Welcome back to the path to Buddhist wisdom and to part 5 of our series, 19 reasons why Scorpio men drive women crazy. So far, we have explored the penetrating gaze, the emotional mystery, the intoxicating sexual energy, and the fierce loyalty of the Scorpio man. But there is another side to this experience, one that leaves many women emotionally exhausted, yet unable to walk away. For to love a Scorpio man is to live on a roller coaster of passion, intensity, and deep longing, a ride that few can endure without losing themselves. Today, we explore 2 more reasons why women find themselves addicted to, and at times undone by, the Scorpio man. Reason number 8, the emotional roller coaster they create. When you enter a relationship with a Scorpio man, prepare for a ride unlike any other. The highs will be euphoric. Moments of deep connection, passion, and emotional intimacy will leave you breathless. You will feel seen, adored, desired, as if you are the center of his universe. But just as suddenly, the tide may turn. A look, a silence, a shift in energy, and you may find yourself plunged into emotional uncertainty. Doubts arise. Insecurities flare. The man who held you so close now feels distant, unreadable. And so the cycle begins. The Scorpio man's emotional world is vast and complex. He does not live in a state of emotional neutrality. He lives at the extremes. And if you are with him, you will be pulled into those extremes whether you are ready or not. For many women, this creates a kind of addiction. The lows are agonizing, but they make the highs feel even more intoxicating. The longing for the next moment of connection keeps you hooked, always chasing the elusive sense of emotional safety. And Scorpio men, whether consciously or instinctively, understand this dynamic. They may not create the roller coaster out of malice, but they know the power it gives them. To be with a Scorpio man is to live in a constant state of anticipation, always wondering when the next high or low will come. And for many women, this unpredictability is as maddening as it is irresistible. Reason number 9, their need for a soulmate, not just a lover. Beneath the intensity, beneath the games, beneath the power plays, the Scorpio man harbors a deep and abiding need for something few dare to offer, a true soulmate. He is not interested in casual flings, not in his heart. He may engage in them, but his soul craves something more. He seeks a partner who can meet him at the deepest levels, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. Someone who is not afraid of his darkness. Someone who will stand with him through every storm. And this need shapes every relationship he enters. It is why he tests you, why he demands depth, why he withholds parts of himself until he knows you are worthy of them. For women, this need can be both beautiful and devastating. To be seen as a potential soulmate is an honor, but it is also a burden. The expectations are immense. The emotional demands are relentless. You will be asked to reveal your truest self, to confront your own shadows, to meet him in the depths where most fear to tread. And if you cannot, if you falter, if you retreat, the Scorpio man will withdraw as well. He would rather be alone than settle for anything less than the soul-deep connection he craves. This is why Scorpio men drive women crazy. They awaken the longing for a soulmate within you, and then challenge you to become the person who can truly hold that space. Closing part 5 T's. A love that lifts you to the heights and drops you to the depths. A longing for a soulmate that demands more than most can give. But the Scorpio man's hold goes deeper still. In part 6, we will explore 2 more reasons why women find themselves both drawn to and trapped by this enigmatic sign. The way they protect with primal intensity, and the jealousy that lurks beneath even the deepest love. I'll see you in part 6. This is the path to Buddhist wisdom. Your journey continues. Reason number 10, the way they protect with primal intensity. One of the most striking, and sometimes overwhelming, qualities of a Scorpio man is how fiercely protective he becomes over those he loves. This is not simple chivalry. It is not polite concern. It is primal, a deep instinct that, once triggered, can border on possessive. If a Scorpio man chooses you, you will find yourself enveloped in this protective energy. He will notice threats long before you do. He will stand between you and the world. He will guard not just your physical safety, but your emotional well-being, your reputation, your heart. For many women, this is deeply attractive. In a world where so many relationships feel transactional or detached, the Scorpio man's unwavering devotion provides a sense of security that is rare and addictive. But this protection comes with a cost, because it is not always gentle. Scorpio men protect with the same intensity that they love, which means they can become controlling, even overbearing, if they perceive danger where none exists. A harmless conversation may trigger his defenses. An innocent connection may awaken his suspicion. And the more deeply he feels for you, the more fiercely he will guard you. Women often find themselves caught between gratitude and frustration, craving the safety his presence provides, yet struggling against the limits it imposes. This is why Scorpio men drive women crazy. Their protective instinct makes you feel cherished, but can also make you feel caged. Reason number 11. The jealousy that lurks beneath even the deepest love. Hand in hand with this protective instinct walks another force, one that has undone many relationships with Scorpio men. Jealousy. Few signs experience jealousy as deeply or as destructively as Scorpio, and it is not born of weakness. It is born of their capacity to love so completely that the thought of losing you becomes unbearable. A Scorpio man does not tolerate emotional rivals. He does not compete for your attention. In his mind, if he has given you his loyalty, he expects the same, utterly and without question. And when jealousy arises, it is not always expressed openly. Sometimes it comes as a cold withdrawal, sometimes as an icy glare, sometimes as subtle attempts to reclaim control of the connection. For women, this is both flattering and exhausting. On one hand, to be so desired, to be the singular focus of such intense love, is thrilling. It makes you feel chosen, special, irreplaceable. But over time, the constant vigilance required to reassure him, to navigate his emotional currents, can become a burden. You may find yourself second-guessing innocent interactions. You may shrink your own freedom to preserve his trust. And yet, leaving is no easier, for his jealousy binds as tightly as his love. This is why Scorpio men drive women crazy. Their jealousy is a double-edged sword, one that both binds and wounds, protects and suffocates. Closing part 6. The Scorpio man will guard you with a force that feels both beautiful and terrifying. And beneath his fierce protection lies a jealous heart that few can fully soothe. In part 7, we will explore 2 more reasons why loving a Scorpio man is a dance between longing and madness. The way they test your loyalty and the intoxicating unpredictability of their moods. I'll see you in part 7. Part 7. The tests of loyalty and the unpredictable moods of a Scorpio man. Reason number 12. They constantly test your loyalty. With a Scorpio man, love is never granted, it is earned. And once earned, it must be proven again and again. This is one of the most maddening truths about being with a Scorpio man. You will be tested repeatedly, sometimes in ways so subtle you may not even realize it's happening. Why? Because trust, for Scorpio, is sacred and fragile. Once broken, it may never be fully repaired. To guard this sacred space, Scorpio men test the loyalty of those closest to them, not to be cruel, but to ensure that those they love can truly be trusted. These tests can take many forms. He may withdraw emotionally to see if you will chase him, or if you will give up. He may observe how you speak about him when you think he is not paying attention. He may introduce situations where your loyalty is challenged, subtly, but deliberately. And through it all, he is watching, listening, judging. For women, this can be exhausting. The desire to pass the test can become an obsession. You may find yourself questioning your every action, every word, terrified of failing some invisible standard. But here lies the paradox. The more you chase his approval, the more he may test you. True loyalty to a Scorpio man is not desperate or performative. It is steady, unwavering, grounded. Only when he senses this grounded loyalty that is freely given, not bought or begged for, will he begin to trust fully. This is why Scorpio men drive women crazy. They test your loyalty not once, but always, keeping you in a state of emotional vigilance that few can maintain. Reason number 13. The intoxicating unpredictability of their moods. Another force that leaves many women emotionally addicted and emotionally drained is the wild unpredictability of the Scorpio man's moods. He can shift from intense passion to icy distance in a heartbeat, from playful teasing to piercing silence with no warning. And often, you will not know why. This is not a game. It is the nature of Scorpio's emotional depth. He feels everything intensely, and that intensity makes emotional stability difficult to maintain. For women, this creates a constant sense of uncertainty. You may wake one morning wrapped in his love, only to feel him cold and distant by evening. You may share moments of breathtaking connection, only to be met with silence the next day. And because the highs are so intoxicating, the lows feel devastating. Women often find themselves trapped in this cycle, desperate to understand what they did wrong, desperate to fix the mood, desperate to return to the emotional high. But this is a losing battle. The Scorpio man's moods are his own. They flow from the deep undercurrents of his inner world, not from your actions. And trying to control them will only lead to frustration and heartache. The key is to remain steady, to love him without becoming entangled in the storm. But few can do this. And this is why Scorpio men drive women crazy. Their moods are a roller coaster that keeps you longing for the next peak, even as you dread the next fall. Closing part 7. A love that tests you without mercy. A heart that pulls you through emotional highs and lows few can endure. In part 8, we will explore 2 more reasons why the Scorpio man's hold is so hard to break: their mastery of emotional manipulation and the silent power of their presence. I'll see you in part 8. Part 8. The manipulative mastery and the silent power of a Scorpio man. Reason number 14. Their mastery of emotional manipulation. Scorpio men are not merely intense lovers. They are master strategists of the emotional realm. Whether they realize it or not, they possess an almost instinctive ability to manipulate the emotional currents of those around them. It begins with their perception. A Scorpio man sees not just what you say, but what you feel beneath the surface. He senses your fears, your desires, your insecurities, often before you do. And with this knowledge, he weaves a subtle web. He knows when to withhold affection to make you crave it. He knows when to offer just enough vulnerability to draw you closer. He knows when to press your emotional buttons, not to hurt, but to elicit the reaction he seeks. For many women, this is maddening. You may find yourself reacting in ways you cannot explain, laughing when you meant to be cold, longing when you meant to be strong. And when you begin to question this dynamic, the Scorpio man often deflects or deepens the game. Not all Scorpio men manipulate consciously. For many, it is simply the way they move through the world, an instinct born of survival, of guarding their own vulnerabilities. But the result is the same. You find yourself dancing to a tune you did not choose, caught in an emotional web that tightens even as you struggle against it. This is why Scorpio men drive women crazy. They manipulate not through words, but through presence, silence, and subtle shifts, leaving you wondering where your emotions end and theirs begin. Reason number 15. The silent power of their presence. Perhaps the most haunting quality of a Scorpio man is this. Even when he says nothing, he dominates the room. His presence is not loud or boastful. It is quiet, but undeniable. You feel it the moment he enters. The air shifts. The energy sharpens. Eyes are drawn to him, often without understanding why. And when he turns this presence on you, when he focuses his full attention on you, the effect is electrifying. In these moments, words become unnecessary. A glance, a subtle smile, a long silence communicates volumes. For many women, this is intoxicating. In a world filled with noise and superficial charm, the Scorpio man's silent power cuts through the clutter. It makes you feel seen, chosen, in a way that words never could. But it is also unsettling, because this presence is not something you can control. You cannot summon it at will. You cannot predict when it will be turned toward you, or when it will be withdrawn. And when it is withdrawn, the absence is palpable, a sudden void where connection once burned. This unpredictability keeps women hooked, longing for the return of that silent, magnetic focus, willing to chase it, to change themselves, to do whatever it takes to feel its warmth again. And this is why Scorpio men drive women crazy. Their silent power leaves a mark no words can erase, a hunger no other man can fully satisfy. Closing Part 8. An unseen hand that guides your emotions. A silent force that dominates your heart. In Part 9, we will explore 2 more reasons why loving a Scorpio man is a battle between freedom and surrender, the way they test your independence, and their unyielding need for control. I'll see you in Part 9. Part 9. The battle for independence and the Scorpio man's need for control. Reason number 16. They constantly test your independence. A relationship with a Scorpio man is not for the faint of heart, nor for those unwilling to stand firm in their own identity. For while he seeks depth and loyalty, he also tests your independence in ways that can be both seductive and suffocating. At first, this may feel flattering. His intense focus makes you feel special, desired, even adored. But over time, you may notice subtle shifts. He observes how you balance your life outside of him. He gauges how much of yourself you are willing to surrender to the relationship. He watches how you maintain your friendships, your passions, your personal power. And when you assert your independence, when you choose to prioritize something beyond him, he may respond in ways that are both challenging and confusing. A sudden withdrawal, a cool silence, a pointed question designed to make you second-guess your choices. This is not driven by malice. It is driven by a Scorpio man's need to know that the bond he is building is both strong and exclusive. But in this process, many women find themselves caught in a difficult dance. You want to prove your loyalty, but not lose yourself. You want to maintain your independence, but not provoke his jealousy or doubt. You want to be loved, but not controlled. And this is why Scorpio men drive women crazy. They force you to confront your own balance between freedom and connection, a balance few can maintain under their intense gaze. Reason number 17. Their unyielding need for control. Beneath the passion, beneath the depth, beneath the fierce loyalty, lies another core truth about the Scorpio man. He craves control, not just of circumstances, but of the emotional dynamic, of the relationship's pace, of the very energy between you. This is not always overt. He may not issue commands or dictate your actions outright, but you will feel it. In the way he guides conversations, in the way he sets the emotional tone, in the way he subtly steers decisions, until you are no longer certain whose idea they were. For many women, this can be deeply seductive. To surrender control to a man who seems so sure, so powerful, so protective, can feel like a relief. It can awaken longings for safety, for certainty, for a love that encompasses you fully. But over time, the cost becomes clear. As you surrender pieces of yourself, the line between love and possession begins to blur. The Scorpio man may not demand your submission, but he will expect it in ways that test your boundaries. And should you resist, the battle will begin, a battle of wills where few emerge unchanged. This is why Scorpio men drive women crazy. Their need for control is both magnetic and maddening, offering the allure of surrender while threatening the very freedom they claim to cherish. Closing Part 9. A love that tests your independence. A bond built on a delicate dance of control. In Part 10, the final chapter of our journey, we will explore the last 2 reasons why Scorpio men leave such an indelible mark on the hearts of women. Their ability to haunt you long after they're gone, and the truth that you will never fully own their heart. I'll see you in Part 10. Part 10. The lingering ghost and the untouchable heart of a Scorpio man. Reason number 18. They haunt you long after they're gone. Of all the reasons why Scorpio men drive women crazy, this may be the most haunting of all. Even when they are gone, they do not truly leave. You may walk away. You may block them, delete their messages, burn the letters. You may convince yourself that you have moved on. But deep inside, the mark remains. For a Scorpio man does not love lightly. And when he loves, he leaves a psychic imprint on your heart. It is in the way he looked at you, as if you were the only person in the world. It is in the intensity of his touch, as if no one else could ever match it. It is in the depths you explored together, depths that few dare to revisit. And when that connection ends, whether by choice or by force, the absence echoes louder than the presence ever did. You find yourself comparing others to him, and they fall short. You hear a song, a word, a scent, and the memories flood back. You dream of him, not always wishing for reunion, but haunted by what was. This haunting is not accidental. The Scorpio man lives and loves in ways that fuse his energy with yours, often without your full awareness. And this is why Scorpio men drive women crazy. Even in absence, they remain a ghost in your heart that no exorcism can fully banish. Reason number 19. You will never fully own their heart. Perhaps the hardest truth of all, the truth that unravels even the strongest women, is this. No matter how deeply a Scorpio man loves you, no matter how fiercely he claims you, no matter how close you come, you will never fully own his heart. There will always be a part of him that remains untouchable, a secret chamber that belongs to him alone. This is not cruelty. It is not a lack of love. It is the nature of the Scorpio soul. They live with a profound inner life, one shaped by their own shadows, their own wounds, their own relentless search for meaning. And no partner, no matter how perfect, can fully penetrate this inner sanctum. Many women spend years trying. They offer unconditional love. They surrender their hearts. They become what they believe he wants and needs. But the closer they get, the more they feel the truth. There is a depth they will never reach, a part of him that will never be tamed, claimed, or fully known. And this is why Scorpio men drive women crazy. They awaken a longing to possess the unpossessable, to own a heart that was never meant to be owned. It is a paradox. The very mystery that draws you in is the mystery that keeps you yearning, even as you know that yearning will never be fully satisfied. Closing part 10, series conclusion. And so we come to the end of this journey. 19 reasons, 19 truths, 19 shadows and lights that reveal why Scorpio men drive women crazy, and why, despite it all, they remain irresistible. To love a Scorpio man is to enter a world of passion and peril, a world where you will be seen, tested, consumed, and, if you are strong enough, transformed. But it is not a path for everyone. It demands strength, honesty, a willingness to face your own shadows as you dance with his. And perhaps most of all, the courage to love without the need to own. If you have walked this path, or are walking it now, I invite you to share your story in the comments. And if you found value in this series, I invite you to subscribe to the Path to Buddhist Wisdom, where we explore not just the stars, but the deep truths of love, life, and the human heart. Until next time, walk wisely, love deeply, and never fear the shadows. This is the Path to Buddhist Wisdom. Your journey continues.